My name is Jacob and I'm a communications officer in the department of the Taoiseach. So I actually studied history in college, but I really used my time there to get involved with as many societies as I could. So I was an editor with the college newspaper and I worked in the radio station too. I then spent a lot of my summers interning with media organisations. I then got a paid internship in my final year, and then that grew into working full-time as a freelance journalist across radio, podcasts and online. The public sector was never something that I considered joining while in college. I was actually always really set on media and journalism, and I didn't ever consider how that might translate into a public sector job. I suppose it was the pandemic and the cancellation of sport. I was working as a sports journalist at the time, so that led to a lack of work, and I suppose I was looking for other opportunities. So about 18 months ago, I saw the advert on Public Jobs for the position of communications officer. I applied online, and then I was called for an interview, and I was placed on a panel with a number of other people that would be used to fill future communications officer positions across the civil service. A couple of weeks later, I got called to ask whether I'd be interested in joining the department of the Taoiseach, and then I finally started in December 2020. I think the public sector is definitely an option to consider for young people. Like any industry, the public service needs young people to freshen it up. It offers opportunities to work on some of the biggest issues facing the country, Europe and the world. If you care passionately about issues like climate, housing, health, Europe, diplomacy, working for young people, then I think you should really consider it. What surprised me most when I started was the access we had to work directly with the Taoiseach. That was quite a surreal experience. I remember my first day meeting the Taoiseach. Within a week then we were recording videos with them, and then soon after we had big national addresses to work on too. So it was a big jump into a pretty surreal job, but I actually really enjoyed that. I'd say my most memorable day working here was probably when President Macron came to visit last summer. It was pretty surreal to see the French president walking through the corridors that we work in every day. I'd say my highlight of that day was probably when he walked from here down to Trinity College, and we had to follow him to try and get footage through all the chaos and the madness of the crowds, the security, and the media trying to get their shot too. My interest in journalism social media feeds into my role quite a bit. Every campaign that we do involves storytelling, and we need to work to make sure as many people as possible see our content. It's similar to journalism like that. You're trying to make your content as engaging as possible, and it's also good to have an interest in social media trends and how the algorithms change to suit different types of content. I suppose the view I would have had of the civil service before I joined was that it could be a bit old-fashioned, a bit hierarchical, but I think that's definitely changing. I know from my experience that it is by nature hierarchical, but you can also make an impression, you can come up with good ideas, and people will listen to you no matter what position you're in. There's definitely a lot of collaboration across the civil service. There's a sense of common purpose, and people definitely look out for you across the team. The opportunities I've had have been really incredible, and I've got to use my interest in media and current affairs to work on projects I am passionate about. One of the big perks of the public sector is that there's a lot of opportunity to have a varied career, I'd say. There are public sector jobs for all interests and talents. Former colleagues of mine have moved on promotion into policy, into other press offices, and just roles up the ladder. You can also apply for mobility across the civil service, which means you can ask to move to another department or area of your interest. I'm not quite sure where I see myself in 5 years, but I know the experience I'm getting here and in this job is going to be really beneficial to set me up for whatever steps I take next. You can find out more about the public sector on publicjobs.ie, and even by following the social media accounts of government departments and agencies, you get a good idea of the work they do.